Anybody here think the Chiefs are as good as the Ravens?
No. As good, no. Player for player, talent for talent, squad for squad, no. But we just saw last night with the Dallas Cowboys that being the better team doesn't mean that you're going to win the game. So, yeah, I think they could go out there and snipe the Ravens in the playoffs. But they're not as good as the Ravens right now because as much as the defense has improved, they haven't seen that same growth offensively. And if you look at even last night where they scored 26 points, few games, 27 and under, that's been kind of their ceiling, as we talked about with Buffalo, and their ceiling being 17 points. So not the same offense as before, but a much better defense, as we came on this show and said in our projections. If they can get a top 10 defense, they're going to be special. And as we look right now, they're 7th in scoring defense, ahead of the 49ers. That's some trivia you can win at any sports bar, saying which defense is better, 49ers or the Chiefs. Right now it's the Chiefs. So if you look at them since week 11, they've been just on a tear defensively. So not as good, but can certainly beat them.
I would say no as of right now. The Chiefs have made some strides defensively, and I think that's where they have to get better, and they're showing that they're getting better versus the run. You look at the Baltimore Ravens and what they're able to do. I mean, consistently all throughout the year from week 1 to week 16, they've just been the top team in the NFL, better than most. But I still think on the offensive side of the ball for the Kansas City Chiefs, they can compete with any defense that they might see in the playoffs, and that's going to be some of the best. So, you know, with Harmon and Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins, the speed, and then Patrick Mahomes being able to attack any area of the field, they can compete. But as of right now, being the best team or being able to compete with the Ravens or being better than the Ravens, I can't really say right now, but, you know, still got a long way to go.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs. I do. I think right now it's all about hot. They are hot. They are going to hit the playoffs running right now. They're that team, and it was all because of the defense. We look at them, Tyrann Mathieu, Chris Jones, and Frank Clark is finally playing like that $100 million guy. He wasn't playing like at the beginning of the season, but now he is. And now you bring over Terrell Suggs, who you can say he's old, but that guy emotionally has the experience. I think he adds an added element, and he played for the Baltimore Ravens too now. So I'm not saying he probably knows a little bit about what they do. He can help once this game does happen, which I hope does happen. And with the running back going down for the Baltimore Ravens, I don't know how severe that injury is.
He'll be back for the playoffs.
Is he going to be back, though? Because
with a calf?
That's tough.
A calf.
I've had a calf injury.
That is tough.
It's tough to be the guy you were before.
Yeah.
And he is a huge part of that team. That running aspect helps Lamar do what he's able to do. And I think scoring-wise, Andy Reid is an offensive genius. You give him time, he is going to put up some points. You saw it last year in the playoffs when they went against the world champions, the New England Patriots. They won that game. If the guy didn't line up in the backfield, they won that game. It was over. I think this team, over the last 3 or 4 weeks, I'm going to say they're probably the best team in the NFL to me right now.
Chiefs. I
like them.
That's a mouthful, Tony. I'm going to somewhat...
It's also my heart, too. Come on now.
I'm going to somewhat go there with you. I'm going to somewhat go there with you. I do think the Chiefs, and this is a change for me because Damian Williams came back. The Chiefs ran the ball better last night. I do think the Chiefs are as good as the Ravens. And over the next 3 or 4 years, I think I'll be proven out that they're as good as the Ravens. This year, though, the Ravens have an element that's just, it destroys all close races, and it's Lamar Jackson. The Cleveland Browns were playing a hell of a football game the first half until the last 3 minutes. And this dude pulled magic. I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. Yeah. No timeouts. And the whole knock on him from people, if they ever get behind, you can't run that offense. And I know it was only 1 touchdown, but they were behind, no timeouts, and this dude scored 2 touchdowns like it was nothing. That's the difference between them and the Chiefs. Last year, Patrick Mahomes had that magic. This year, that magic is with Lamar Jackson, and that's the difference between these two teams. I think the Chiefs probably have a better defense. They certainly, in my opinion, have better weapons with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce than Baltimore has, but they don't have Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, talking about the Chiefs, even the question, as good as, it puts you into a mindset where you're thinking about maybe there's a tie, maybe there's a participation trophy, because in sports, it's better or worse. Somebody wins, someone loses, zero sum. Are the Chiefs better than the Ravens? Because if you're not, you're going to have to outplay them because you're not going to out-talent them. You're going to have to outperform them. And that's going to be the conversation. When Andy Reid comes into question, everyone always says postseason Andy Reid, not exactly the same as regular season Andy Reid. How's that going to come into play when you got a John Harbaugh out there who has led his team before? So it's just a different conversation in terms of the talent. I think you give a slight edge to the Ravens. And then the execution postseason, you probably still have to lean that way. So how did the
You
Chiefs
think Baltimore has more talent than the Chiefs?
Yeah, I would have to. I wouldn't say necessarily like
They got the
combine
quarterback.
measure. They got the
quarterback.
running. I would give them the running game. I wouldn't give them the receivers. None of that.
Offensive line, the Chiefs' offensive line.
Yeah, but then I go defensively, the secondary. I have to go to the Chiefs. To the Ravens, and then probably linebackers to the Ravens. Yeah, and then up front, you might say a draw.
Jones,
so that's why I say it's so close, but as good as makes you think you're going to tie. You don't have to be in range. You have to be better. You have to trump them. Can they do that?
Yeah, when we talk about this discussion and you look at how the Chiefs have progressed over the last couple of weeks, you can't help but to notice what they've done on defense. And we thought that would be the biggest reason why they wouldn't probably go as far in the playoffs. And now, with Patrick Mahomes being at the top of his game still, I don't think he never lost. He had an injury. But them being able to score points and be efficient on offense, and then the defense backing them up, they've been they've been the toughest test for the Baltimore Ravens for the last 2 years, and that could come into play come playoffs, and that's what's going to make it so interesting.
Why are we? And I like Lamar. He's the MVP of the season. But come on, Patrick Mahomes. We're acting like he's like Lamar is here and Patrick's way down.
This year.
Let's see when this comes. I'm telling you.
This year,
Patrick has been hurt a little bit. Lamar has outplayed him. I'm not saying he.
Okay. And the Chiefs did beat them, though. The Chiefs beat the Ravens.
Remember Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, every time this is going to be that for the next 10 years.
Absolutely.
This is going to be the top two quarterbacks. We're going to love watching this. This is starting to get good.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to have to, Patrick's going to fluctuate. Lamar's going to fluctuate. If Patrick gets hot, and we've seen it, what happened last year, this could easily happen. 3 touchdowns last night, 0 picks. It's coming. It's coming. I'm telling you, that if they start peaking, I know he's MVP, but when we get to the playoffs, you can scratch all that, and let's see him. Well, two MVPs going at it.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.